Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Neda Iranpour. Glad to have you with us here at 11 o'clock. We are working through you right now to cover every angle on the crisis since the end of Title 42.
Chris Groh has more where migrants are being taken in San Diego here. Kelly Hestedall covering what the shift back to Title 8 means. And Dana Marie McNichol is tracking changes for the app that asylum seekers have to use to book appointments.
We do want to begin with Chris Groh for a look at where migrants are being taken. That's a big question throughout San Diego County. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning here, and we're at a shelter that is currently being operated by Catholic Charities in Mission Valley at a hotel. And we got to tell you, there has been quite a bit of activity here that's been happening recently. In fact, if you take a look at your screen right now, we'll show you some video of some of the buses that have been going in and out of this property, and many of them, again, carrying some of those migrants who were able to advance in the process, be able to enter into the United States of America for that asylum process. Now, what we're being told happens here is that with specifically the Catholic Charities shelters, that migrants aren't staying more than maybe a couple of days. In fact, in a statement that they sent us, they said that asylum seekers stay between 0.8 to 1.6 days at a time. Really, these shelters are meant to help connect them with resources, whether that be a sponsor family or actual, again, family members that they may know, trying to get them close to the location of where their court date is, trying to provide them with transportation, food, water, and again, shelter after spending quite some time there in some of those really terrible conditions that we've seen there close to the border. Now, San Diego Rapid Response Network, as well as Jewish Family Service, also operating shelters. And I do want to share a statement, if you take a look at your screen right there, of what SDRRN did tell us. They said that they're going to continue to assist the most vulnerable arriving asylum seekers with additional collaboration and communication needed between all levels of government and other partner organizations to ensure that no one stands alone in our community. So again, that being Jewish Family Service as well as San Diego Rapid Response Network. But back out here live, we're continuing to see, again, buses both leaving and arriving. When they're arriving, they're dropping off those migrants and they're being taken care of at the shelter. And then again, the big question that so many have during this process is what is next? And for many of them, still unclear at this time. Back to you.
That's right, and we are here along the border fence, and I'm told that actually there are more people here today compared to yesterday. Take a look. You can see for yourself. Further west of here, there are a couple more encampments just like this one that are mostly made up of single men. But you can see for yourself there are lots of people out here, lots of women and children, people from all over the world living in this sort of open-air detention center, waiting to be picked up by Border Patrol. But it's important to note that even when they are picked up, it does not mean they're automatically allowed to stay in the U.S. In fact, far from it. Take a listen.
From here, they will go to a Border Patrol station where it's a large room with 50 people. It's a concrete, one restroom that's open. That's what it means. It's very similar to like jail cell conditions. It's not a good place.
Now, that was Pedro Rios with American Friends Service Committee. Now, he has been out here every day for the past several months. Around 9 a.m. today, I'm told a group of women and children were taken away from here by Border Patrol agents, presumably taken to one of those detention centers that Rios talked about, where they can remain for up to 72 hours. Now, the initial interview process, the credible fear interview, is one that I'm told a lot of people will not pass. The threshold is very high, and if that happens, if they don't make it through it, the deportation process begins. I'm told migrants have a very short window of time to fight that, and most end up being deported to Mexico or back to their home countries. So a lot of the people that you see out here, no matter how long it took for them to get here, how far they traveled, there is a good chance they will have spent just a lot of time out here in unsanitary conditions, all to be just denied entry to the U.S. So back out here live, what you're looking at right now, a makeshift sort of cell phone charging center right here along the border fence. You can see maybe like 10 or 20 of cell phones sitting there. This is one of two that I have seen out here this morning. Now, for the latest, though, on an app that we're told that CBP is telling migrants that they have to use, let's send it to Dana Marie McNichol. Dana Marie?
Well, Kelly, a lot of them we spoke to, like you said, have been trying to access the CBP One app for a while now, but have had a lot of issues like glitches, the app crashing. But we have somewhat of a positive update. We're learning that the app has now added more appointments, and they've started to prioritize those who have signed up. Now, I do want to break down exactly what this means. So they're transitioning to a new appointment scheduling system, making appointments available for 23 hours each day instead of a designated time. Now, this allows for more flexibility and access to scheduling. CBP One app will also increase the number of appointments available to approximately 1,000 each day. Right now, all the appointments become available at the same time. But with these changes, non-citizens will have enough time to make requests and confirm appointments at their convenience. Now, this is to help reduce pressure and dependency on internet and connectivity, which has also been a big problem for migrants. Another major issue is dealing with smugglers. Now, to cut them out, the app is prioritizing appointments for those who have been waiting the longest. It's important to note that in order to schedule an appointment, you must be in central or northern Mexico to both request and confirm one. Now, our CBS 8 reporter Richard Allen, he's been in Tijuana speaking to people who finally got an appointment.
Pero por lo menos ya me pusieron un tiempo al cual yo tengo que esperarme.
And he was saying that, of course, he finally has a time scheduled where he is now going to wait for more information about how to process through an appointment on the CBP One app. It's nice to hear that they're really making an effort to make it somewhat easier and clearer for these migrants, because it's really been a tough situation for them. I'm Dana Marie McNichol coming to you from San Ysidro.
And we do want to give you a look at the current wait times right now at the border. 80 minutes for the general line at the San Ysidro port of entry. That just actually changed to 70 minutes a short time ago, and 70 minutes at Otay Mesa port of entry. Keep in mind, though, the actual wait times may be a little longer because Customs and Border Protection, it doesn't account for the time it takes to drive through the streets of Tijuana to get to the ports of entry. So if you are going to be going that way, make sure you give yourself extra time.
And you know, this morning we were reporting live out there all morning long, seeing sightings like this with migrant families, of course, still camping out at the border, adults, young children, babies. I was down in San Ysidro all morning right here looking at this, and I spoke to people who have been there, some for 5 to 6 days now. At nighttime, they tell me it is cold. During the day, it's extremely hot. I spoke to one man in Spanish about what it was like. He was actually at the fence begging for some toothpaste because he had just woken up, and that's what he really wanted, just to try to find a little comfort. Take a listen now to his plea for the United States.
Viviendo una guerra, ¿no? Para salir adelante.
¿Qué necesitas ahora?
Necesitamos aseo, apoyo, principalmente apoyo de su país, ¿no? Por favor, que no nos tengan acá con este frío horrible. Por favor.
Yeah, you saw the translation there. It's horrible. The conditions are. They've really been struggling for days there. If you do want to help, a lot of you have reached out to us asking how you can do so. Well, donations are greatly needed. Where this specific campsite, this makeshift campsite is right around Monument Road and Dairy Mart Road. They're saying if you want to drop off bottled water or food, non-perishable type food, that could help. Diapers certainly needed. And then sweaters or jackets and blankets. That's what they need, especially at night, since they're all out there sleeping on the floor.
So what's Mexico doing about this crisis? We reached out to the Consul General of Mexico in San Diego, and they tell us Mexican officials promote legal border crossings and urge migrants to avoid smugglers. The consulate also tells us Mexican officials are working with the U.S. to secure complex sites at the border there and to provide humanitarian aid. Migrants can also ask for refuge in Mexico. The office in Tijuana says 330 migrants requested refuge in the month of April.
Today, Homeland Security will share more information from migrants who are requesting asylum, and anyone who wants to learn more about the end of Title 42 and what changes are now in store at the border. So this happening on the DHS Facebook page. In fact, you can tune into it live right now for the U.S. Embassy in Mexico. That's who's hosting it. So you can check that out at this moment. We'll try to have a recap for you of what they are saying as well later on today. And here at CBS 8, we're always working for you to stay on top of all the changes changes that are happening at the U.S. Mexico border. We know this is a huge deal here in our region. We're going to have the latest developments on CBS8.com right here on the air, of course, and then you can follow us on social media and download the CBS 8 app.